Hello, hello, you beautiful souls. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle. We talk about things life, love, spirituality, love attraction, and all of that juicy goodness. I am an intuitive reader, a manifesting coach, a Reiki practitioner, and a life path guide and mentor here to help you along your awakening journey so you can co-create the life of your dreams. And in this video, we are going to talk about 2 signs / 2 methods that you can kind of tell your manifestation is on the way when you've been doing these 2 things. So they're kind of signs because sometimes we can unconsciously do them. And then one of them is an actual method that you can now start doing to attract more of these signs. Okay, so let's dive right in. What are these 2 things that you might be unconsciously doing? The first one is focusing. Okay, so when you find yourself like, wow, I can really focus for like a good 5 minutes on my manifestation. If your brain gets easily distracted when you're trying to think about your manifestation, that's a clear sign that it's not on its way. When you can really focus and you can think about something for 5 minutes straight and not have these other thoughts kind of jumping in, you've mastered it. Your focus is everything. Your attention span is everything. We have to literally, the mind is a machine. Okay. So I just totally pivoted right there. I was going to say something else, but I'm like, no, they need to hear this. Your mind is literally a machine. And it's almost like, great analogy. Thank you. My guides and angels are always hooking me up. If you think about a spotlight, right? And say you have a spotlight on the back of your house and the spotlight is facing the neighbor's yard. Okay. Well, say there's a camera out there. The camera is only going to catch what's in the light, right? So it's only going to be able to capture what is in the light, and the light is shining on the neighbor's yard. For some reason, it's turned and it's shining on the wrong yard. So this is symbolic of your brain, and it's focusing on something other than your manifestation. So we need to somehow get into your brain and turn the light and focus on what you do want. So, and when that happens, what happens to the camera? The camera then catches what you're really focusing on, what you really want in your life. The camera is the universe. Okay, so we have to direct the light to focus on what we want so that the universe can see it. If we don't focus on it, it doesn't know, it's in the dark. Okay, so Abraham Hicks often teaches about a focus wheel. So we're gonna start right up with that. So I'm going to teach you how to do a focus wheel. That's why I said they're kind of like methods, but when you can focus and you don't have an issue with it and you can really think about your manifestation for 5 minutes without getting distracted, high five, you can skip through this video. You don't need this. But if you struggle with focusing and really sitting into the feelings and the emotions of your desire, stay tuned because this is going to change your life. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of paper and you're going to draw a bubble. I like to draw mine cute with like I don't know, like scalloped lines. So this is my focus wheel. The center, you're going to draw another circle and you're going to put what you desire in the smaller circle. And then you're going to see it's got a 12 o'clock position, 1, 2, it's just a typical clock format. At each station, at each number, at 12 o'clock, it's not really related to time or anything. It's just the little dashes. You can do more than 12. But at each time, you are going to write a statement confirming that this manifestation is yours. It can be a gratitude statement. It can be, I am so grateful now that this desire has walked into my life so effortlessly and easily. I am now going on vacation because this desire arrived. And you're going around the focus wheel, writing a sentence at every time slot. Okay, this could take you 5 to 20 minutes, right? If you know and you're really good at speaking sentences in confirmation that it's done, it's here, I have it. If you're good within 5 minutes, maybe sit for the extra 15 minutes and feel into each statement. Say them out loud, repeat them 5 different times. Okay, so the focus wheel is you getting clear on what you want, and then you're writing 12 statements saying that it's already here. And as you write, the purpose of this whole thing is you're focusing for 5 to 20 minutes on this one desire. Okay, so this activity forces you to get into the focus mode and you're turning that spotlight on to your desire. Okay, so think about you right now when you're not doing this activity And maybe you're just thinking about your manifestation every once in a while throughout the day. Maybe you're doing your imaginal acts at night and you're turning that light, but maybe you're not. Maybe you're not doing any of this and you're just thinking about it and thinking it's enough because you're thinking about it for like a minute or 30 seconds. Well, the mind needs more time. We need to plant the seeds. We need to get into the feeling of it. So you can think a thought for 30 seconds and be like, okay, I manifested. That's good. But it's not, because your body has to feel the vibration of the result of having the thing. And what this does, this forces you to go deeper. With each statement, you're going to have to search for something new to say. And then all of a sudden, when you find these cool sentences to say, you're like, oh, this feels really good. I actually feel like this desire is here. When you get to 6, 7, and 8, you're just, and I've done it a million times and it feels so good. You just start to feel it in your body like, wow, this is really possible. So a focus wheel is a huge sign that your manifestation is on the way, because even if you're not doing the physical act of the wheel, if you can focus and keep that spotlight on your manifestation for long periods of time, and you don't get distracted and there's no fear and there's no doubt, and it seems fun and effortless, this is a number one sign that your manifestation is close, because it's effortless. There's no resistance. There's nothing holding you down. Okay, so being able to focus is your first sign. Your second sign is when you have a breakthrough moment where you just say, I choose differently. I am not going to feel these negative emotions anymore. Okay, so on here I have, not continue feeling negative emotions. Stop and choose differently. So yesterday I had a breakthrough moment where I just was on my couch and I shared it in my midweek reading. And I just had this awareness, like in the moment, I was like, I'm choosing different. I am not going to let myself sit in negative feelings. Guess what negative feelings do? They plant a seed for what you're calling in for tomorrow. Okay. So when you have negative emotions, negative feelings, worrying about something, having anxiety, the minute you're feeling those feelings, think about your body and where you feel it. Do you feel it in your chest? Is your chest tightening? Is your belly getting all weird? Maybe you're scrunching up your shoulders because you're so tense. You're going to drop your shoulders, open up your heart space, shake it all out, and you're going to say, no, I choose different. You're going to be like this badass soul that you're just like, no, I came to earth in this body to have this experience, and I refuse to let any negative emotion into my body and change the course of my path. I am strong. I am stronger than the ego. I am a beautiful soul and I can do this. And you just speak with conviction to yourself. I did this last night in my house by myself. I was talking to myself and I threw my legs off the couch, sat up, and I was like, I choose differently. Like, I'm not going to sit here and ever worry. I know that every need is always met. And even if you have $0 in your bank account, you are going to stand up and say, I know the universe will bring me more. I just know it. And you put yourself into the feeling state of it arriving. And then you're like, oh my gosh, this feels so good. And if you can't get into that feeling state, guess what you can do? You can flip this board around and do a focus wheel. Okay, because when you get around, when you're doing those 12 statements, it's going to shift you and it's going to help you to choose differently. You're going to change that spotlight and you're going to refocus not on the negative emotions, but you're going to be actively taking action. Oh, I had that on the other side. Taking action to release the resistance. So the focus wheel is your action. I'm giving you a tool to use to shift you out of fear and worry. Anytime you are in fear and worry, you need to get out a piece of paper and do a focus wheel. Okay, because it's going to put you in a different state. And if that's too overwhelming, then just get out in nature. Maybe you need a cleanse. Maybe you're in a lower vibration. Take a bath, take a shower, cleanse your energy, and then do the focus wheel. But the negative emotions that I was feeling on my couch last night, I would have sat in that for another 3 hours, probably, not even realizing that I was thinking those thoughts. And I teach this, but our mind is so conditioned to think those thoughts that we have to be the ones to take the light and turn it. We are so in charge of our lives. We are the creators. And every minute we're in a movie, we're in a simulation that whatever we are thinking and feeling, we're saying, hey, universe, I want more of this tomorrow. So if you can catch yourself in the negative emotion, you can change your tomorrow. you can change the manifesting game. So these two signs that you know a manifestation is on the way is your ability to focus is so good. And you can quickly choose differently and shift out of negative emotions. When you're doing both of these, you are in the flow, you're feeling good, and the darkest before dawn moments have to be in our lives so we can learn this. If you weren't in that squeeze energy of needing something, you wouldn't learn this. You wouldn't understand anything I'm teaching. But those of you that know that feeling where you need something so bad and you're just like, oh, I just need this. And really ask yourself why you need it. You know, do you think it's going to make you happy or is it survival? They're two totally different things. But when you're really needing something for survival and it drops in, it's most likely because you've learned to focus and you've learned to shift your emotions. Become the master of your emotions and you will become a magical manifester. It is so important. And I'm excited to see what drops into my life because I feel like I've had a grueling 3 to 4 weeks of clearing the clutter, changing my routines, doing different things, being squeezed to the max. This is the biggest squeeze I've ever been in my entire life. And I know that something is coming after this. And I'm just holding the line. I'm going to keep teaching about it. And I know each morning I wake up and I say, God, I know you're putting me through this so that I can teach it. Because if I didn't go through it, I wouldn't be as valued as a teacher. I wouldn't have the experiences to say, hey guys, I went through that too. You know, so I have to go through it too. And I'm sharing my vulnerable moments with all of you right now, letting you know that like, I don't have it all together. I'm figuring it out too. But in the process, there is nothing to figure out. We just get control of the negative emotions. We choose differently, and then we focus. We focus on what we do want. We're not looking at all the things that are wrong in our life. That's where that spotlight is. It's looking at the neighbors, it's looking at everything else, it's external. We need to go within and think about what do we want to create? How do I want to feel? And we focus on that. And then we write our 12 things. I'll put this back up in case you guys want to screenshot before we end this video. But you're placing your desire, and you can have 5 different focus wheels for 5 different desires. So again, this is an action step that you can take to help you release resistance. I want to help you all get out of the negative emotions. I know most people come to my channel to realize that they're okay and that everything's okay. Okay, I'm feeling her sign, I'm feeling that. That means something's coming, I'm safe. But I want you to feel safe whether something's coming or not. I want you to know that God and the universe has you no matter what. Okay. So if you're going without something, you're being shown to trust even more and to call on yourself and surrender and say, higher self, God, universe, take this burden from me. Change me into a man or woman who can see what to do next. Change me into a man or woman who can offer this to you and know that you will handle this for me. I'm going to focus on the feeling of what I want to experience, and I know that you will do the rest. That is co-creation. You're doing your 50% of the work. You're telling the universe what you want. You're getting into the feeling of it. You're not planting seeds of negative emotions. You're catching the negative emotion at 4 p.m. on a Tuesday and you're saying, no, I'm not going to choose to feel this way right now. I see myself walking through a store and I'm worried. No, I'm not thinking that right now. I'm not feeling that. Remove. Sometimes I'll do like cut cords or I'll rub my chest and I'll be like, nope, Michelle, you are loved, you are safe, and you are protected. Everything always comes to you. And I kind of like remove the energy from my field. So find small practices that work for you, but get control of the mind. You are not your mind. You are a beautiful soul in there, and the mind is just trying to protect you. I have so many videos, I'll link some here, about the ego and how crafty it is. And when you do receive your desire, because all of you will, like this video right now and say, I claim my desire. When you receive your desire, you better expect your ego to jump out and to try to attack you the next day, a couple hours later, even like 2 days later. The ego is so angry when you're in the flow and when you don't need it. And a lot of times I feel like sometimes I teach this and I'm worried that maybe people might not be super, super aware of their ego yet because they're newly on the journey, but your ego is literally just your shoulds. I should be doing this, or I'm a bad person. It's all the judgment. If you're thinking judgment thoughts of people, criticism, whatever it is, that's all ego. Your soul loves everything and everyone. So you have to discern between the two types of thought. Once you discern between the two, then you can choose to live more in soul, and you can observe the ego like a helicopter and be like, nice try, buddy. You're not going to get me this time. And you have a dialogue with it. You're not crazy. When I first spiritually awakened, I felt crazy because I was all of a sudden aware of this voice in my head that I had always been acting and living from. And then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, I'm not that voice. What is that voice? That voice is nasty. It's mean. It's judging. It's criticizing me and everybody else. Like to this day, I will still be on a drive and I'll see somebody running, and my ego will quickly judge the person and whatever they're wearing, how they look. And then my soul comes in and it wants to high five the person and say, keep going. You're awesome. You look great today. But the ego is still there. It's the judgment, it's the comparison. You know, for you, if you see somebody running and maybe you don't work out, I love working out. So I'm always like high-fiving people. But maybe if you're not an active person and you see somebody else running and maybe you're jealous and you're like, man, I wish I could be like them, or whatever it is, you might judge them as you drive by them. That's not you judging them. That's your ego. Because your ego saying you should be doing this and you're not. And it's making you feel bad. But if you don't want to work out, you don't have to. But I do suggest some sort of movement to make your body feel good, because energy needs to move. If we are made of energy, we need to be moving. Okay. But you move in whatever way you want. You don't have to be a runner. You don't have to be a walker. You don't have to do all of the things that other people do. Find what works for you, but be aware of that thought. Whatever that first thought is that's judging, comparing, criticizing, that is not you. That is ego. And we live in soul. And we allow the soul to come through with love and compassion and forgiveness and how we can see it differently. And we want to cheer people on. And sometimes it takes a little work to plant those new thoughts, like the choosing differently. You're choosing a better thought. If you've been somebody who's always judged people, you can change. You can think different thoughts. And it's as simple as the negative emotions. You're feeling a negative emotion in the moment, you can stop that emotion. And if it's a really deep rooted emotion, maybe you need a little bit more time. And that's why the focus wheel might help you. Or get on a phone with a friend, talk it out, get it out of your system, go scream, go dance, go play, shift the energy. Then when you feel a little bit more grounded, come back and do your focus wheel. 2 signs you know manifestation is on the way. You're able to focus and you're able to shift out of negative emotions. Don't forget these 2. When you're doing this unconsciously, a manifestation is right around the corner because you're constantly in the redirecting. Nope, my spotlight's over here. Nope, changing it. Thank you. And when it's focused on what you do want all the time, it's only a matter of time. And then it drops in and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I worried. I didn't think it was going to come. And boom, it dropped in. If you need help, book a session with me. Everything's below. I love doing one-on-one coaching. I have an 8-week mentorship program where I teach my clients how to do all of this. And I actually get to see a glimpse into their life, and my eyes can kind of see where they need tweaking, and we do it and they experience results like you would not believe. It's magical. So feel free to book a session with me if you feel called, or to sign up for my mentorship. All right, lovies, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. Thank you for supporting me and my channel, and I will see you in the next one. All right, peace out.